What are you guys doing sneak up behind me? How's it going? Welcome back to iNVision Prototypes. Today, we're going to get to shaping this piece to fit this corner with this stump and this hammer. Check that out. It's getting close. Got a couple of ripples going on, but I think we can make this work. Let's go fit this to the car one more time, see how it looks, trim away some material, run with that. Hear that? Panel is starting to sing. You pick up a piece of sheet metal that hasn't been wheeled, it has a dead sound to it. We want this to look factory, as if the factory built it, is what I'm trying to say, once we're done. I don't want it to look cobbled together. I don't want chunks of steel here and there. I want the whole car to look as though it was a factory production vehicle once it's done. Now this is what I get excited about. A nice blank canvas to start with. So we've gone through, dissected everything we don't need, sliced it off, gotten rid of it, and now we can start planning and looking at bringing the two bodies together. I'm just going to push that plug out of the way because we're just about ready to drop the 51 shell over the Infinity. After a lot of finagling, we have the body sitting on the Infinity chassis. If we don't breathe, that should stay put. We have a bolt at the top, clamp at the bottom. We're off by about a 1/4 inch there. It's not too bad. But as you can see, we don't need to add too much to that rocker to hide the Infinity rocker. We gave the car a bit of a rake, about 1.5 inches downward at the front. The whole car will come down once you put the seats in and whatever into the car, all the glass. We should be sitting at about here.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We're going to take this roof and lower the roof. Now we've lowered the roof, we're going to be chopping. But unlike other chops, we're not going to chop the post. We're going to lean the whole front section back, lowering the front section. And we'll take pieces out of here, keeping the original shape of the roof, just lowering the whole thing.
We have not too much holding that roof anymore. And as for this window perimeter, this has to be fitted as well. You can see the dramatic effect. 2 inches at the front didn't seem like much, but we're down 3 inches. And there we have it, guys. The roof's been lowered. Lean back 2 inches at the front, 2 inches forward at the back. We remove that section back there at the back edge of the roof. Now we're on the final stretch.
You can see how uneven that body is, and the lead filled all that in, and they filed it down with files and made it smooth.
All right, guys, you're probably watching this video because you picked up an old car somewhere and it's seeing some rust and you don't have enough license plates to patch up all those rust holes. Well, I'm gonna show you how you can go from this to this in a few easy minutes. It's not too hard. And if you don't have a welding machine, that's fine. Throw some screws in, some pop rivets. And if you do get a welding machine or you borrow your buddy's welder, or if one happens to fall off the back of a truck, you can always weld it in later on. So basically, support the sheet metal from the back side just below the black line. And this is going to be tricky because we have the top in the way a little bit. Start rolling it down. I wish I was left-handed. Unless I got a left-handed hammer. The front fenders, heck, they're even different from side to side, just a little bit. But that's okay, because what that gives us is a thing called artistic freedom. All right, guys, after a few minutes on the stump, we're done. That's it. We'll take and weld this on, smooth these ripples out with some Bondo, and this panel is finished. Just back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh. You see what's happening? I can't believe I just did this. See those ripples there? That's no bueno.
And here we have 2 generations of hot rod builders working in their natural habitat.
From what I gather on the ham, and this is not a very ham-friendly car, when you take these headlight rings and you stick them to the fenders, you weld them on. That's called Frenching, because you've made them part of the fender. When you take and insert a tube and set the headlight back inside this tube, that's called tunneling. And if you leave it like that, well, that's not finished.
Now for the moment of truth. Well, isn't that sweet right there?
Because this structure is 18 gauge. Let's see if we can shrink that. Because unlike what I always say, if you don't stretch, you don't grow. If we don't try it, we won't know.
As you can see, we've cut out that piece of sheet metal. It's actually going to sit in there like that. You can see the body shape here, and that inner curvature is right there. This will be folded over at the top. So we've got a bunch of Okay guys, we have it just about finished.
Oh, hey guys. Pardon me. Figured I'd get a little block sanding in while I was waiting for you guys to arrive.
Take the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft, a Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, and hot rod it, not once, but twice.
As a 16 or 17-year-old kid, I wanted to build something different, something unique. I sat down with my dad. He likes planes, aircraft, I love hot rods, and we kind of put our heads together and did some concept sketches. And things kind of evolved from there. Here we are, the second iteration, Rhythm 2.0, or R2 for short. Now, about the time that I was finishing that one up, I started to get the itch. And if you've ever had the itch, you know the itch I'm talking about. And if you've never had the itch, well, it's a special kind of itch. I get really critical about my work. And if, let's say for instance, I do a drawing and I'll finish it, I'll fall in love with it, I'll put it on the wall. The next day I'll look at it and I'll see something that I don't quite like about it, or just something can be changed about it, or I just feel like changing it. And it'll bug me until I sit down and redraw it. I looked at this one and said, let's chop off 38 inches. Shorten up the front, shorten up the back. We still have the concave surfaces and the turbos and the main cockpit design, but everything's been pushed around, pulled around until we have a more tailored, more refined, more modern look. Now this piece here experienced a series of unfortunate events. But as you can see, all the reflections are tracking well. I've made up a whole bunch of templates. I'm going to pull all those off, get them onto some sheet metal, cut them out, and then we can start forming up all those pieces and getting them onto the car. This side being easier than the other side because the other side has no buck. And that's one of the things about this little project we're working on that creates a new level of challenge for me. So for you, it's entertainment. Okay guys, well that's going to be it. Got all these panel sections, well almost all the panel sections wheeled up. There you go, bird's eye view. So that's what she's going to look like. Be glass from the top down, structural member, and mesh in behind there to allow the hot air to get out. We call this color Tequila Sunset. The owner, his wife, absolutely in love with it. They get compliments everywhere they go. Quite an eye grabber. Check out those reflections. The sun's just bouncing off those fenders. I don't know if you can see how deep that metallic goes. You can get lost in that. Okay, go! I'm gonna sit myself down over here. A little bit winded. Now it could be because I'm out of shape, or the fact that this 1956 Chrysler Windsor is a huge car. She just goes on forever. 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 Oh, just latched the door. Why is it off like that? Let's see if I can pop that door open. Thank you.
Too much gas.
So I went on the interweb and found one of these. Here we go. Good sign. I'm curious to see if we can take it around the block. And that brings me to the plan. It'll be reproportioned to look like a muscle car, the beginnings of a muscle car, a concept of a muscle car that the factory developed in preparation for the muscle car wars in the 60s. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. If you're new to our channel, please hit subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.